Hey everybody, I am your host Joe JDF Foster, and I want to welcome you back to my new episode. This one will be focused on today's episode will be about songs that focused on cheating or messing around, or people were being unfaithful. And as part of my thing for this, I do want to admit from some of my information I got from sites such as Song Facts, Behind the Song, and Good Housekeeping, as well as other places and what was general knowledge and known. And I don't know how it happened, but for some reason our society seems to be focused on songs where you can find cheating and where you find cheating or infidelity in it, ranging from country to rock, even rap and reggae. I'm pretty sure there's even in reggae music that they have one that does. I'm not sure on that 100%, but I'm pretty sure there is. But in almost any one of the music genres, you can find a song that fits into it. And many times, a lot of those songs get redone or find alternative ways to become popular again later on in the modern day, as we will discuss in this video as well. Now, on to the first song on my list from 2005's Some Hearts album, Before He Cheats by Carrie Underwood. This was the fifth release from her debut album, which was Some Hearts. And thing is that in the song, the girl talks about how she caught the guy acting at this bar. The action she takes in it is actually very criminal by United States standard law. And she's facing at least vandalism, right? I mean, vandalism crimes from where she assaulted his vehicle. There could be more to it, but I'm not 100% certain what they are. And another interesting fact is that if you go to her second album, Carnival Ride, the third single off of it was called Last Name, is actually a prequel to this song. Thing is, she's not the first artist to do this, where one of her songs on her earlier album gets a prequel song on the next album or on a later one. But to me, that kind of disrupts the flow in the songs and throws it off. And now, but something else I found out is that according to Tompkins, one of the writers of the songs, originally they wanted Gretchen Wilson to do the recording because of her edge and along with the edge that in general had come to the genre of country music in that time. I mean, during that time, which I find interesting that they think that country music didn't have edge in the first place, because I'm sorry, it did. Just look at Johnny Cash, Waylon Jennings, any of them back in the 60s and 70s. There was edge there long before this song came out, but the type of edge this had is probably the women fighting back and not taking it as a standard, oh, he can do this because he's a male type situation. And they were actually surprised when Carrie Underwood wanted to do the song. And they wrote the song in 2 hours, and it was by a guy. It was written by guys, with the first verse and the last line of the chorus being all they had written initially. Where it talks about how they're about sorry, got tongue tied. About how the guy in the bar who's cheating is probably teaching her how to play pool and shoot, and the girl can't shoot whiskey. And then the last line of the chorus, which is, next time he'll think about it before he cheats. And Josh, the other writer, believed that sorry, something I ate earlier got stuck in my teeth. But Josh, the other writer for this song, actually believed, even jokingly, that the first woman that did this to him would be the woman he married. And the chorus is just the rest of what happens when she knows what's happening. And then he thought about it again, and it became that the rest of the chorus was what happens when the girl would find out what was happening with the guy inside the bar. The action she actually took the rest of the way. But again, like I said, Josh, the other writer, thought it was a joke. I mean, he made it as a joke that this would be the type of woman he married that would be able to get this angry. I mean, that he'd be able to make this mad and take this action against him. Well, he could get this mad. But the part about what happened in the bar, that's when he went back to the songwriting and took the woman's perspective into mind with it, and how the guy doing this inside knows the woman's outside, knowing what happened inside. And while the guys, when they wrote it, tried to keep it to a humorous tone, because they didn't really think of it as, they didn't really want to take it to a dark side, Carrie Underwood took a hold of this song, and they admitted she made it her own. And Tompkins, or Josh One, actually said in their little interview, we wanted to keep it lighthearted, but she drove it home, and we couldn't be more grateful that she did, or that we could. Actually, they ended with just, we couldn't be more grateful, which to me says a lot, because I actually enjoyed this song myself, because I thought that the man got off lucky with it just being the vehicle that got destroyed. Some of the people I know, if they found out that their person had cheated on them and was actually stupid enough to go back to this place and cheat there, yeah, the man would not have been walking after this. He would have been in the hospital if he was lucky. And his sight might have been affected for the next few days, weeks. Okay, now on to song number 2 on my list from 1999, Destiny's Child. Say My Name. In this one, woman hears another woman's voice over the phone when she's talking to her boyfriend or fiance, and in order to confirm her suspicion as to whether he's actually cheating or not, she tells him to speak affectionately towards her, knowing that if he doesn't, it's going to prove her point, and he's going to be in more trouble than he knows. An interesting fact about this is that 2 members of the band, the 2 original members of the band, Latavia Robertson and Latoya Luckett, sing vocals on the song, but they don't appear in the music video. having their replacements, Michelle Williams and Farrah Franklin, appear in the video. Though Farrah would later be dropped from the band, and the group would continue as the trio that they became known for being. Luckett and Robertson actually claimed or alleged. Some say it's a claim, some say they actually tried to take this to court, alleging with it that they didn't know they were out of the group until Franklin and Williams appeared in the video. Until the replacements appeared in the video. And also, this one won 2 awards in the 2000 Grammys. They took it for Best R&B Song and Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group. In 2008, Kelly Rowland stated that this was her favorite Destiny Child song because of how easy it came when she performed it and how great it was. Number 3, and this one is a really well-known song, but gets varied opinions by a lot of people. From 1974, Jolene by Dolly Parton. It's in a 2008 interview, Dolly actually revealed that the idea behind Jolene actually came from 2 separate incidents. First, while singing, she saw a little redheaded, green-eyed girl in the crowd, and she asked the child her name. The girl responded, Jolene. And Dolly would respond, Jolene, 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 that it sounded like a song, and that she was going to make it into a song. Years later, turns out she actually did. But the second part of this is the most common known part of it, that it came from a recurring nightmare she had after she married husband Carl Dean in '66. Well, at this bank they would go to, there was a new bank teller that got hired that was known for flirting with her husband. Well, this started the nightmares that Dolly had. Dolly stated that as a result, she started doing these songs. She started doing this as a journal. She started writing a journal, that the song became more of a journal entry and her way of dealing with her relationship issues in the process that it might actually happen. Also, something I didn't know that happened, apparently, is that Dolly thought her husband was spending way more time than he should have, and actually got rid of. There were no details given on this, on how she did this. That she thought Dean and the bank teller were spending too much time together outside of work, just as friends. So she got rid of, like I said again, in no detail given, that she got rid of the bank teller. That if it hadn't been for the bank teller, though, the song wouldn't have been written. And this was written in the Independent at about a Glastonbury concert in the United Kingdom that Dolly gave. Oh, and it's been done multiple times over the years, but my personal choices for covers of this are Reba McEntire's 1988 live performance that she gave. You can find it on album. You can find it. Even on YouTube, it has it, and I recommend it because it's really good. Miley Cyrus, with or without Dolly in it. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, Miley Cyrus, aka the actress who played Hannah Montana, is actually Dolly Parton's goddaughter in real life. But if you watch on YouTube a thing called the backstage sessions, I think is what it's listed as, or type in Dolly Parton, Dolly Parton, Miley Cyrus, and Jolene, it will bring up the videos of at least Miley performing it by herself. But there should be one where it's her and Dolly performing together, and both are really good. Also, there's a Persian artist in 1994, Leila, and I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I am sorry for that. Forohaur, under the title Jolene, spelled Jolin, which to this one, I want to talk about it a little bit because while I liked the music to it because it was different and gave it a nice sound, the artist's vocals seemed a bit off. I don't know if it was because I watched it on YouTube instead of getting it off the album, but it didn't seem right. Or if it could have just been me and my personal taste towards the music. But otherwise, but it was actually a very good rendition of, it's actually a very good cover of the song overall. Okay, number 4 on that cover list is Cheri Austin. She kept the country sound to it, but at the same time, she tried to throw in a rock sound, which worked really well in her favor for it. Also, but in her negative side to her version of it, it actually comes in the video. The video showed it as a blonde model being the interest instead of a redhead, like in the song's actual lyrics state. But again, I like the song because it's actually very well done. And having the rock sound to it was a nice touch and a good step towards moving it to the next crossover step. And not just saying, oh, I'm going to copy this, and that's all there is to it. Next up for the cover list is Mindy Smith. Another one who had the country, but this one took a more blues sound to it, took it to a more sad side, where it actually showed the emotional state that we would expect the character to feel. Where you can tell she's actually hurting and worried about losing the love interest to Jolene. A positive note to this one is the video actually uses a redhead as the love interest, as stated in song lyrics. And Dolly Parton makes an appearance in the video as well. Also, Dolly, when asked, actually stated this was her favorite version of the song being covered. And it was even performed, and Mindy actually performed it on stage with Dolly at one point. Another version I came across that I didn't know about was by, I think it's a British singer named Sophie Ellis Baxter. It had a piano keyboard sound with a violin thrown in, and the accent threw me with it because I'm not used to hearing it. But it's a very good cover, and the change is really nice as well. In this one, too, with it just being something simple as the keyboard violin mix. And Sophie's voice, like I said, the accent may have thrown me, but vocal-wise, I think she would have been a great fit to do it as an album song, as a song that made it on the charts. if she did. I mean, if she didn't do it in real life. I don't know. So if anybody knows about that, feel free to let me know. And my last one on the cover band of it is Pentatonix. Great a cappella band who has done many songs, and they did this song, and it was nicely done. Also, on YouTube, you can find a video where they perform it with Dolly, actually. And on this one, for my final notes on Jolene, is that this one actually had a lot of parodies or answers of the song. Austria 2015 had one called, it had a song called Jolene Come Nadine, where they parodied it, and it played all day. The 101st episode of the TV show Community, or of the series Community, uses the song for Gay Dean. 2016, a person named Bryce Jacobs, who if you go on Wikipedia, you can find a connection to his site, created an alternate version of the song where it takes it from the guy's viewpoint, and he's actually asking Jolene to stop because he knows that she'll succeed in sleeping with him and he'll blow up his life by being with her. In November 2018, and this one's a little weird, a drag queen named William Belly released the song, I'm probably going to say this wrong, Eileen. And it's actually about serial killer Eileen Wuornos. Again, probably mispronouncing. A prostitute that claimed the people she killed tried to rape her during their encounters. However, she was found guilty of the crimes and given lethal injection in 2002. And one of the places when I went to look this up about her, because I went and looked this up in multiple places to try and get this, states that the movie Monster is actually based on her. So if anybody knows about that, I'd be willing to hear it. Christy McCall did a song called Caroline. It addresses the song in an upbeat way, where the main singer, where the previous woman, who is now given the name Caroline, is now dealing with the fact that she's cutting off her best friend, Jolene, for having an affair with her husband. I mean, for Jolene having had an affair with her husband. Jennifer Nettles, however, of the band Sugarland, did a song called That Girl. Because in her mind, Jolene was a little bit wrong in the way it portrayed things. So, and she felt that the other girl was maligned by the lead character in Jolene. So when she did the song, it's actually Jolene in the song warning the main character that her husband has a roving eye, and that he's the one actually making moves on them, and on her and everybody else. Okay, now on to number 4 from 2005, Lips of an Angel. This song, which is probably going to surprise people, was written in about 20 or 30 minutes, sitting in the drummer's living room. It started with the first line and just flowed. And Hanson, the singer, if I got this, sorry, my mind's a little worked up from when I did this. I mean, in 2012, Hanson stated that this was a way to turn trouble into music and make something out of it. And also, it got released after the song Get Stoned due to the performance at an event. Hanson was told by management to keep an eye out of the crowd for how they reacted to the songs. And so he did. And when they played this particular song, everybody was losing their minds. Whether it was bikers, young girls, college students, kids, it didn't matter. Anybody that was at the concert was going crazy over it, basically. And so that's why this one was the next one released. And it turns out the song is actually based partially on truth. As the lead singer was actually having trouble letting go of his former love. And when he told the story to the drummer, and they came up, and they had a guitar progression in mind already, it came along with, and it helped the song to come along and be able to go the way it did. Now let's go over the popularity of this song. And I'm actually a really big fan of this song. I will admit it, I had it on CDs a lot because I enjoyed it. But popularity-wise, it sold over 3 million ringtones when getting ringtones was popular for your phone, which is more than any other ringtone that was done. It also reached #1 in several countries, including Australia and New Zealand. Again, if I'm wrong on this, it's one of the sites I found it on is the one that listed that. So if I'm wrong, I apologize on that fact. Okay, now on to Billie Jean. I don't remember the exact year for this one. It's about a woman who claims that Jackson is the character, which, as it turns out, is actually based somewhat on a true story. Because it turns out there was this woman that was stalking Michael Jackson and claimed that the child was his and even sent him letters. The song was him addressing the issue with the woman without directly getting into contact with her. And what makes it more interesting is that there was another person involved, being Jackson's manager at the time, came over one day to find her sitting at the pool and wondering what she was doing there. And she claimed that Jackson was the father to one of her twins. And all he could do was laugh. In which case I can actually understand that, but it makes an interesting story in that one alone. Also, Jones and Jackson, according to the Moonwalk biography, got into an argument about the title of the song. Because of it being Billie Jean, a lot of people figured it might do what my mind did at first, because I wasn't that old when I heard the song. But figured it might do what, for some of the older people, what it might do. They might confuse it for Billie Jean King with the spelling of the name, as it being Billie Jean with an IE. So Jones wanted to instead call it Not My Lover. Jackson told him he wanted Billie Jean, and he ended up winning the battle, as we can see. Rolling Stone's top 500 songs states that Jackson came up with the rhythm track. He did it on his home drum machine, and he nailed the vocals in one take. Now that, to me, is impressive, because a lot of people I know, even on their first take, if they get it, will question themselves and go back, okay, I say that I know, and that's wrong to say it that way. But a lot of people, even on their first take, will think they did something wrong and want to go back just in case to try and make it better. Okay, in 1983, the Grammys, this one took 2. awards. First for R&B vocal performance, and second for best R&B song. Now, I hate to tell them, you can't beat Billie Jean. I think it actually beats out Thriller in terms of music-wise. Thriller had the best dance to it, hands down. Though, if you watch the short film he did for Ghost, that one comes close in my mind for second. Same as Smooth. Well, no, second goes to Smooth Criminal. First goes to Thriller. Third is Ghost. Also, this video is credited for breaking the color barrier on MTV. Even though they had African Americans and other races on MTV at the time, no, the more popular one for the color barrier of the African American thing was is the fact that it was past the Dutch and nobody in that one was over 16, so they didn't count it. Billie Jean was also the first video to make heavy rotation. More black artists started appearing, most notably Prince, after this happened. And MTV was accused, but this was also during the time MTV was accused of being heavily racist. And this was especially being done by Rick James because his video Super Freak got rejected by the network. Though actually, I could see that one being argued that one wasn't necessarily the video specifically, but that it could have been the song itself. I mean, the song itself could have been an issue, given what it's about. But also, the video, not exactly the most innocent for that time. And this was the second of his 7 to be released from the Thriller album that became a hit. The first was The Girl Is Mine, which was released first due to Paul McCartney being a part of it, due to the star power. Sorry, I'm not a Beatles fan, and Paul McCartney's real low on that list. Anyways, Lennon is the lowest of the group, though. But, like I said, The Girl Is Mine was released due to Paul McCartney's star power, and them thinking it would boost it. And then came Billie Jean as the next one. Oh, and Drake, after admitting he fathered a son, actually referenced this song. The son he had is with a French model. When he answered to the allegations of this and admitted it, his words were, "She's not my lover like Billie Jean, but the kid is mine." But the song could also be seen as a warning of breaking a girl's heart and being careful of how you spread your love around. I guess spread your love around is the nice way of saying it. But cheating or just giving away or just going out and having sex with everybody that you can. Number 6 on my list of songs from 2009, White Liar by Miranda Lambert. This one I liked because it was a break from Miranda's traditional, from what I'd been listening to of Miranda's, where almost everything I liked by Miranda at this time was like Gunpowder and Lead, Kerosene, Me and Charlie Talking. It wasn't exactly, it was more like Gunpowder and Lead or Kerosene, where it was the tough, bad tomboy, bad girl type that you had. This one took more of a Me and Charlie Talking detail, where it was nice and easygoing, but at the same time, it dealt with an issue in it that wasn't in Me and Charlie Talking. In this one, the girl talks to her boyfriend and about the girl talks to her boyfriend about his cheating, and he calls her a white liar. Well, the part that makes it interesting is that when they do the song and it gets to the bridge in the song, she admits that she's been telling her own little white lies as well. If you watch the music video to this, it gets really interesting because because it's a wedding that's going on. As she's walking down the aisle, the girls she looks at, every one of them that she's looking at has had a relation, has been sleeping with her fiance. And I think even some of the bridesmaids have, if I remember correctly, because I think she looks at them too. Well, when it gets to the part about her lying, the video actually shows that her and the best man have had a thing together as they run off together for the end of the video, revealing who she actually likes. So, all around, but yeah, and the statement that was given on this is that cheating in a small town is basically what this song was all about. Number 7, The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica from 1998. Something I didn't know, and it kind of bugs me, but it does make sense, is that the song was actually inspired by Jackson and McCartney's The Girl Is Mine. Where in that one it's two guys wanting the same girl, and this one it's two girls wanting the same guy. Only they don't know that the guy's playing both of them in it. And something else that happened during this time is that there was a feud. Is that there was a rumor started of a constant feud between the two. And Monica stated in 1998, after this was done, after they did this video together, that I'd never even seen her before because I listened to a lot of gospel music. From the time she released and I released, initially people compared us and I never understood it. It's likely they chose the two of us to bunch to put at odds. They never did it with me and Aaliyah or Brandy and Aaliyah. It was always Brandy and Monica. That's why we took the song and brought humor to a situation people tried to make serious. We thought it would be really funny to show us feuding in the video and come together at the end because we wanted people to let go of the idea of us not liking each other. But of course, they haven't. And for that reason, I found it funny because people saw this video. They loved the song. They liked the idea. They still thought these two were at odds with each other. I'll admit it. I grew up hearing that these two were fighting. I didn't listen much to them, so I didn't really know much about the music with them. But I knew this song particularly because I liked it and I liked the video. And in the video, if you watch it, the guy that's cheating both these women is Mekhi Phifer. The song spent 13 weeks at number 1 in the U.S., making it the all-time female duet in U.S. chart history. It was also the top-selling U.S. single in 1998, having sold over 2 million copies. It topped and according to what I saw, it topped the Canadian charts for 15 weeks. In the Hot 100 success, aided by Billboard, the Hot 100 success was there, but there was a rule made by the Billboard by Billboard charts that actually hurt this song. Since the song was not sold as singles, even though the song was sold as a single, songs sold as single and songs not sold as singles in the U.S. were actually ineligible to make it on the Billboard charts. This rule was lifted in 1998. And it's also the reason why songs Torn by Natalie Imbruglia and Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls, many people will remember being famous from the movie City of Angels, starring Nicolas Cage. It's the reason why they didn't get to make the charts. And at the 98 Grammys, they actually won for Best R&B Performance by a Duo. And according to something I read, prior to the release of this song, R&B wasn't popular in Asia. But when this song came out, it topped the charts for 8 weeks. Also in the video, what makes it so interesting is that these two girls are neighbors with each other and have like paper thin walls by the looks of it. So they know that they know whenever the girl has the guy over. Well, eventually the girls come together and they discover, you know what? We don't need him. So the guy decides, you know what? I'm going to show up, play us all sly. He's ready to talk to one girl and keep playing his game. Well, the girl opens the door looking at him. He smiles. Then she opens the door some more to reveal that the other girl's there with him. They're with her. Well, as he's surprised to see them both there together, they slam the door in his face, leaving him standing there looking like the idiot that he is. Now for my final notes overall. Songs about cheating are one thing, but just because you listen to them does not mean you need to act them out. If you're actually dumb enough to cheat on somebody you're with, then you're dumb enough and deserving enough to be on your own and need to get what you get, deserve what you get. And if you're lucky, the best they'll do is break up with you. The worst they'll do is break up with you and leave you, you can go find somebody else. But just remember, karma is a pain, so be careful on how you react with that. But again, I have been your host, Joe JDF Foster, and until next time, I'm out. But don't forget to leave comments about your favorite song dealing with cheating and what you think I should do for an upcoming video. But again, I'm out.